This isn't just a war story, it's a lesson in ego, ambition, and what happens when you underestimate a country known for bears, vodka, and brutal winters. Let me take you back to 1812 when Europe had one main character, Napoleon Bonaparte. If confidence were a superpower, Napoleon had it at level 100. He was the Emperor of the French, a brilliant commander, and a man who truly believed the world existed just to challenge him. And honestly, until Russia came along, it kind of did. But what was this war even about? Surprisingly, not land, not revenge, not some dramatic love story. It was about trade rules. Napoleon had created the continental system, which was basically Europe saying, let's stop buying things from Britain. Napoleon hoped it would hurt Britain economically, but the Russian Tsar, Alexander I, looked at this rule, looked at Britain, and quietly said, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. To Napoleon, this felt like someone ignoring his Wi-Fi password and making their own hotspot. Disrespectful. So he said, fine, I'll go to Russia and make him obey. Simple plan, terrible idea. In June 1812, Napoleon gathered the Grande Armée, over 600,000 soldiers from all over Europe, the biggest army anyone had seen. They marched proudly toward Russia, expecting a quick victory, warm meals, and maybe a nice postcard from Moscow. But the Russians had a different vibe. They didn't stand and fight, they retreated, again and again. It wasn't cowardly, it was genius. Here were Russia's main strategies: scorched earth. Every time they retreated, they burned their own villages, food, crops, basically anything the French might use. It was Russia saying, you want to steal our snacks? Joke's on you, we burned everything. Let distance do the damage. Russia is huge. Like walk forever and still not done, huge. Napoleon kept marching deeper, thinking a grand battle was coming. Instead, he found more land, more emptiness, and more hungry soldiers. General Winter. You've heard of generals like General Patton. Russia brought out General 30 degrees. When winter hit, it didn't tap the French on the shoulder. It punched them in the lungs. Boots froze. Fingers froze. Horses froze. One soldier supposedly said, my mustache is frozen to my face. And honestly, that sounds believable. But Napoleon still pushed forward. He finally reached Moscow expecting victory music and celebrations. Instead, he found the city nearly empty and burning. The Russians set it on fire before he arrived, as if saying, welcome to Moscow. Sorry, we aren't home. Please enjoy the flames. Napoleon waited for the Tsar to surrender. The Tsar did not. He didn't even send a text. With winter crushing them and no supplies, Napoleon finally said, okay, we're leaving. That retreat? Brutal. The French soldiers marched through snow taller than their hopes. Rivers froze. Roads turned to ice slides. Supplies ran out. Russian forces attacked from all sides. Some soldiers wrapped themselves in curtains, carpets, anything they could find. The Grande Armée went from Europe's strongest force to a frozen, shivering parade of misery. Out of the original 600,000, only around 100,000 made it back. Napoleon didn't just lose a war. He lost his army, his reputation, and the illusion that he could conquer anything he touched. And what's the moral here? Pride is sneaky. It tells you you're unstoppable, unbeatable, unshakable, until life hands you a Russian winter and says, try again. Napoleon didn't lose because he wasn't smart. He lost because he didn't respect the challenge. So remember, be confident but not blind. Be brave but not stubborn. And never assume winter will bow before you, because winter bows to no one.